Chat, here we go. We have a crossover of the two winners of Ranked Royale. Ranked Royale was a tournament if you didn't happen to catch it. Oh my goodness, Vacanus donating $100, which now makes the prize pool for this one $1,000. Zen is going to score first. And let me give you a little bit of background because I think there's going to be a good amount of people who are tuning in for just this match. I want to make sure they understand why these two are playing each other today. So we recently ran a tournament called the Ranked Royale. That's a great fake by Zen to get his second goal. That involved these two playing to qualify in ranked. All of the top 1v1ers, or at least a lot of the top 1v1ers, are playing ranked 1v1 in order to grind and be the top 4 to make it into the tournament. Both Daniel and Zen did just that. They made it into their respective tournaments on the EU and North American side. And then on top of that, they both continued to win the event. Zen not going to a single game 5, in fact, losing only one game to Moxie in the process of winning his side of the tournament. Daniel had a little bit more scares, but still 3-0 in the pool and took the Ranked Royale for North America. Now, courtesy of Vacanus, who donated the original $500 and now an additional $100 as the stream or as the game starts, he wanted to see a matchup between the two winners. He said, use this money as a prize pool to get a cross-server matchup. And that's how we got here today. We've had a few more people add to the prize pool. Shout out RJC and I think Jake and Bake. We both had a couple hundred respectively. And now we are ready for Daniel versus Zen in the context of Rank Royale. One of the big questions that you should have at the start of this series is, what server are these guys playing on? As Daniel gets his first goal just over a minute into the game. Comes off a reset that he fakes and takes low. And the answer is that we are going to be going back and forth, giving Zen the majority of servers. Now, the reason why is because the last time these guys played, Daniel did have the server advantage, and Zen got to pick the order in which the games were played. This time, we'll do the opposite. It also helps that Zen did a little bit better on his side of the tournament, which could be another reason why we give him 4 EU servers. So, 4 EU servers and 3 NA in this best of 7. Daniel got to pick the order. He decided to play 2 EU games first, and then from there on out, go back and forth. Nice flick. Zen backflipping a bit early. Might have been able to intercept this. And the reason why is he wants the game to finish just like Zen did when they played previously, to finish on his server. If it goes to 7, he wants to play on North America, which this thing that he picked, this setup that he picked, will end in North America for Game 7. And he feels like he just needs to steal probably one of these 2 first games, and he's in a good position for the rest of the series. Zen almost looked like he had a controller disconnect. Zen has had a close matchup against a few different players since he joined the 1v1 scene. Only one of them has been able to beat him. That is Rawas. He played Daniel in his big streak. That one went the distance. But still, Zen came out on top, which he's done many times. This is a clean reset. Ends up finishing it with the flick to the right side of the net. We see these flicks go in most often when they're placed a bit higher. Sometimes when they're put as low as Zen did, they are savable. But 119 km/h, had the speed. Didn't matter that Daniel was going to be able to get to that position. So if we're looking at ping, I know a lot of people wonder what the ping these people have. Oh my goodness, Dan, this is a terrible server for Daniel. I didn't even check. But 112 for Daniel. I have a feeling we'll probably find a different one for him in game number 2, because this is far from ideal. I thought Daniel pretty consistently got like 90 to 80 on EU, and I think we could get him that in future games, so we'll have to switch over. But for today, or for the first game, he's playing on 112. Zen deciding not to go up to try and meet Daniel, either because he felt like he couldn't get there, because Daniel wasn't bringing the ball on target. Daniel off the sidewall. Look at the shot. The reset might be able to follow it up. Zen is definitely awkward. Forces the first one at Zen. But he makes sure to play for the follow-up. Instead of trying to go all in try and slam something in here. And Zen's actually in reverse, too. I didn't even recognize that. Instead of trying to go all in and allowing Zen to make that first save off the wall with power, just pops a soft one up and it's around for the continuation. So a flick and a kickoff gets Daniel a tie game. Zen was off to at least a 4-1 start. So I think we have seen 4 straight goals now for Daniel. We also saw Daniel play during the Ranked Royale in the Batmobile. So it's not impossible that today we see Daniel play a little bit of the Danmobile. It definitely changes the style that he plays. So it's certainly a nice thing to mix up. Daniel just misses his flick off the crossbar. And if you've ever watched 1v1 before, when you take shots like that in the air, using all your boosts, strong shot, has to be on target, has to force a save. If you don't, then the defender gets to run the other way. And Zen is the kind of guy who's very confident in his reads. He's not going to overcommit when you miss, because that's your other way out. If you get close enough that you can convince the defender to jump, even though it's not on target, then you might be able to recover from it. But both these players, not the kind of players to make those kind of mistakes. So you have got to put the ball on target. Daniel pre-jumps Zen's dribble early. And it's so interesting the way that this has become a big part of the high-level ones meta. Specifically, Daniel is one of the biggest players to do it. Just kind of confusing the offense that leads to a much worse attack. What a slow play from Daniel. If Daniel hits this hard, Zen is there. But he decides late to use his flip to get another wheel touch and slow the ball down. Zen had the read for a more conventional reset. But that's not what Daniel goes for. Ties the game 6-6. Zen losing this kickoff into the back corner. As we approach the final minute, that is when every goal is so crucial. Daniel going to turn and challenge right away. Try and not let Zen get anything going, but Zen was ready. Low 50s. It cost him all his boost to make this play. But it doesn't matter. He reads Daniel's challenge perfectly. He had the ball on top of his car, a position that is favorable if Daniel can get there in time to take it off. But Zen, who had the perfect read, drops it down and now has delayed his kickoff. We saw him delaying his kickoff, I think, against Luis P, and he is so consistent with this. This is not the first time we've seen Zen go for these pre-flips with absolutely no boost. Pops the ball pretty far away, but just pre-flips underneath the ball to scoop it on target, taking advantage of his delay kickoff. Still a minute, but definitely Zen can start to command the game. You'll see play styles adjust as it goes from securing the lead instead of trying to run it up. Daniel, look at his shot. Even Zen has to throw him the nice one. This works well for Daniel. He needed a clutch goal, and he launches one off the backboard to double. Zen, who just trying his best to challenge early off the back wall, is right into Daniel's hands. And one of Daniel's best aspects of his air dribbles is he always quickly grabs the reset. Now, Zen actually gives us an example right here of not grabbing the reset early. If you take the dribble and try and get the reset late towards net, it makes it a little bit easier for the defender to read, because they know that you're going to be spending at least a small portion of time air rolling, getting your wheels on the car, and getting the ball before you can really get any surprise movement. Daniel on his wall to air dribbles, almost as a first task every time, gets the reset, but 10 seconds left to go, and it seems like Daniel needed that goal right there. He's got zero boost to work with, so he's going to be in a tough spot. Zen will tap it in. So despite the impressive dribble and the early reset that led to the win to get him within one, it is going to be Zen likely to finish this one off, barring him literally just helping Daniel out. I think he has to not go to the ball at all, and maybe 2 chips can get in within 2 seconds. We'll see if Daniel wants the server. Want a new... Yeah, he's out. Wait, I'm assuming he wants a new server. I guess... New server? He might just be changing car, which people do a lot, but... 115. Oh, no, he's back in this one. Still want this server? Or new one? Oh, he likes it. Okay. We'll stick on it. We're staying on this server. Daniel at 108 ping. He said he liked it. Which, to be fair, a lot of the times, what's important is consistency. If you have 108 ping, it's not ideal. But if there are no spikes and the server gives you exactly what you can expect with 100 ping every single time, it can be better than a little bit more volatile server. Daniel's also had enough of the Fennec. He played well in the previous one, but he is into the Space Station Octane. The kickoff game is something that the last time these guys played, I think it was, you know, the most clear game or match that Zen needed to work on his kickoffs. If I remember, he was dominating the midfield, but Daniel was roasting him on the kickoffs, and Zen was just really not adjusting at all. He would just take the same standard kickoff every time and led to Daniel staying in the game. Since then, Zen hasn't had that much issue with his kickoffs. I don't think he's been, at least in Ranked Royale, playing the same level of opponents in terms of people who can punish him, although Moxie is definitely one of the top players, and I think that's really the reason why I feel like he improved, is Moxie will pick you apart if you aren't careful with your kickoffs. Probably takes only 1 or 2 matches against Moxie before you decide, all right, I need to put in some thought on these kickoffs. I'm done losing 90% of them. Nice undercut by Daniel. Can he convert this for a goal? He actually will be able to. So Daniel is chasing Zen down and trying to bump him here as he drives through the ball. Zen sees that and looks to avoid it as he pops by jumping in the air, but Daniel undercuts him, takes him out of the play. These players are so elite in their movements that you cannot keep up if you don't land at all times perfectly. So Daniel knows that. His pogo shot is saved. He's pre-jumped again on Zen, and they combine for a little passing play that results in the ball going far over the goal. Now they're pinching down the other way. Zen is willing to creep into this corner, which is not easy to get away with from his position. Daniel maybe trying to bait him in there, but he's out of boost now. It'll be Zen with a full field dribble attempt he wants, and both these players are not the kind of players to pass it up, but that is one of the least exciting dribbles from Zen I've ever seen, which is to say it's not the best. It's not that Zen didn't do a great job. It's still a decent reset. It didn't leave himself completely exposed, but man, Zen is normally putting in something you've never seen before every time he's in the air. In fact, he's trying to do it right now to prove my point, and he's just a bit high. Daniel gets a free goal from it. Zen's aerial game, his first, or his most recent, had the power but was over the crossbar. The previous one, the setup and finish, really never really brought it in to be a shot. Daniel's going to get another kickoff. This can be where the danger is for Zen. He tries to delay this one, which I like to see. It's a good mix-up. And he's been actually winning those, I would say, the majority of the time against the people he's doing it with. Daniel wins this one. Daniel can't beat Zen to the boost, who was able to get the 100 and might have an angle despite how hard it is. It is Zen we're talking about, but Daniel makes it back in time. Zen off the crossbar and out. Daniel's creeping out. Only 16 boosts to work with, and still is able to challenge and get his goal. Zen, I think he just didn't expect Daniel to actually come. You see it, watching him, he's doing kind of hitches towards the ball, thinking certainly Daniel doesn't risk coming all the way out here because I can just pop it and he'll miss. Daniel took that risk, and it paid off, trying to go off the wall now. Zen has to save. Daniel, how is he going to bring this dribble back on target? Wait, he actually is going to be able to. It's going to take a couple resets. A fake. Zen's in the air. Has the save. Daniel trying to perform some magic by bringing the start of that dribble back to net. Zen not able to grab any of this boost. Still has a good amount of time to bring back his 4-goal deficit. Daniel might be capitalizing on Zen approaching too close to the back wall. I think Zen had a ton of boost to work with. And he's still being really aggressive. On 0, and Daniel has 100. He's trying to take advantage of the fact that it is a bit of an awkward position for the player with the ball to bring the ball down off the back wall. I don't know. Maybe just because he's down 4 before that and he feels he's going to have to find some offense. He doesn't have time to make the decision to go back to his corner, grab 100, or to be passive at all and still be able to make it back. Right now he's power slide cutting around the map. Daniel pre-jumped early, but by the time Zen's shot came, he already was back on the ground. Daniel now no boost to work with. Zen needs to score this one. Wave dashing to stop his momentum out to the midfield. Low 50, and it works. Second goal for Zen. Likely gonna need to see a couple kickoff wins in the process of getting the next 4. Daniel did get a touch on this one, but desperate to not be faked, maybe waited a bit too long. Both these match on standard kickoffs. I don't think I've really seen Zen use the wave dash kickoff too much. I wonder if he doesn't feel comfortable on it. He's throwing the GG, so 7-2. Daniel is going to be able to win this one. I'll go end it. We're going to head over to North American servers now as we go back and forth for the rest of the series. But it's tied 1-1 in the best of 7 between Zen and Daniel. US East, Daniel on 16, Zen on 88. Can Daniel hold down the fort on his first US East game? He seemed just fine on EU. Playing with fairly high ping. 1v1 is the game mode that it does seem to affect the least amount. In case you maybe ever played, oh, Daniel, he's not going to score this. He needed to. He had no boost. The ball was coming slightly awkwardly down, but certainly he was capable of scoring that. He's got to score this one now. He will. But that was going to be something he would remember forever if he ended up losing the game by 1. Zen lost control of the air dribble again. Daniel takes it away for a first. But as I was saying, as far as ping in 2v2 and 3v3, where there's more cars and more interactions with the ball, ping becomes even harder and harder to deal with. I think when top 3v3s have been played cross-server, which was happening a lot around the time of COVID because people were so desperate to see that happen, the server advantage was almost unplayable. Pro players are close enough that if you get semi-equal matches, the team with their server just wins. But it's really not that way in ones. Of course, it's still an advantage. It's always better to be lower on ping, but of any of the game modes, it seems to be the most equal. Zen is going to be on the board. Able to pop this over the top with Daniel. Does a little camera check. Sometimes I swear players are doing it just as a like a taunt, which is funny because the opposition can't see it. But when we watch show matches, we can. You know, sometimes it is informational. Maybe he's seeing, did Daniel land quickly? Is he going to be back? But a lot of the times, I feel like it's like, where'd you go? A little bit of where are you going? There's a slight taunt that only they know happened. Daniel, air dribble resets, and he wave dashes it back behind Zen. You see Zen waiting on the corner for the boost, slowly creeping out to defend Daniel's air dribble. He doesn't want to overcommit and go to the far post, but he also doesn't want to sit on the near post and leave everything available. Daniel knows that. When he recognizes Zen has come out too far, he catches and cuts back behind him. This shot will be saved. Zen with a chance in the air again. He could really afford to hit this one. Daniel's not going to let him get going, though. Early challenge. Nice bump. Zen will convert. But I still think that's a mental win for Daniel. Zen, who's had a few failed attempts through the air, might start to be losing confidence in his air dribble game. I don't know why he would, considering he has a long history of doing them well, but you never know. Daniel prevents him from seeing one go through. Zen forced to make the play on the ground afterwards. Daniel now, can he find a way to score this one? Yes, he can! This angle, I wasn't sure if it existed, but if it did, Daniel was going to be the one to find it. And the ball somehow doesn't hit the post on its way in. Delay kickoff for Zen. This time it works out. Seems to work a lot better on those straight kickoffs. And he does play this over Daniel. these impossible margins. Whenever you watch games like this, impossible margins just become a regularity. How does Daniel not touch that ball and it still somehow hits the post and goes in? And the answer is the best players in the game are the ones playing today. Zen wave dash kickoff. I think he added a decent amount of delay on it as well. Daniel recognizing Zen is not coming to challenge him and sees that maybe doesn't have the best of plays, so he'll go all the way to his back wall. Zen followed him there, so he slams the ball to the opposite side. Not sure what the plan was for Daniel all along, but Zen does steal the possession away. Is he going to get a goal off this? He actually doesn't. Zen, he made an outplay to take the ball away from the net in order to get Daniel to miss, but I still thought Zen was going to be able to land and get around it. Turns out he can't get around it in time. So it'll stay a tied game. Zen slams one into the crossbar and has followed it right back up. Daniel, who was low on boost, needed to conserve. He decides it's not worth double jumping, using a bit of boost to save this one because it is high and I'll likely not be able to deal with the follow-ups. Maybe I'll just get fortunate off the bounce, but Zen had the perfect setup. Both these guys are delaying. Who knew that top-tier kickoffs involve both players playing slight chicken at the midfield and driving up to the ball very slowly? Zen sending this one off the backboard. Daniel cuts it directly back towards the net. A lot of movement to try and fake Zen out for the eventual shot, but Zen handles it easily. Goes to the turtle, a slight sideways carry, a goal line 50. What is Zen doing here? It's hard to see how this helps his shot, but I tell you what, it definitely looks stylish. The turtle and side dribble carry. Daniel may be worried about the flick is the best explanation for why he waits on the goal line. Daniel, air dribble 50, should be able to get this goal. No. Zen sends it away. Thank you for the donation, by the way. $50 donation to add to the prize pool. That makes it 1,050. Saying 1v1 really deserves the land. Yes, it absolutely does. 1v1 certainly deserves a land. Just like all the great fighting games, you love the matchup of either play somebody face to face or side by side to grind out. Oh, Daniel. He needs goals now. He's about to drop a USC game. Back to Zen, who has the server advantage. If these guys get the same amount of games, or if Zen gets more, he's going to win. But he has the ability to win just by matching Daniel. So it's really crucial for Daniel not to hand these away. Here's a kickoff goal for Zen. Remember this moment. We'll see if this ends up being the turning of the tides. Daniel tried to get around and turn the ball hard to the right wall on the diagonal kickoff. That's maybe the first time we've seen Zen score immediately off the kickoff, and possession right away for Daniel. Air dribble resets and places it right into the top shelf. Daniel basically makes kickoff wins to the side wall kickoff goals. This is by no means a kickoff goal because Zen certainly had a chance to defend it, and against worse opponents, you know, they might not even really get something on target, but Daniel is so good at the sidewall dribble off kickoff. Zen, the pogo! Not even the pogo shot, but just the regular pogo! I don't know if I've seen Zen go for one of these. Pretty much just Dark has been using this in the 1v1 game, but Zen shows, even at the highest level, it is viable, and Daniel cannot react to the pogo. 2-goal lead for Zen. 37 seconds to work with. The pogo shot, since Dark made the pogos relevant in 1v1, we have seen most players, first off, go for Daniel. He can definitely bring this back. We have seen most players using the pogo shot. As they started to adapt more pogos in their game, they would take it right off the bounce into the shot. The delay works for Zen. He's trying to ice out this game. And pretty much only Dark was effectively using the high pogo bounce, where you fall or you follow behind the ball and it soars to around crossbar height. But Zen showing that Dark's not the only one that can use it. And now just needs to hold on to this possession to end this game, and he didn't hold on to it. Daniel should be able to get this on target, so he's still within range. We've seen some good kickoff mechanics from Zen in order to get the last 2 possessions, but he hands this one away. Can he hold on with 11 seconds left to go? He just goes for a standard kickoff, wins it into the orange half, and grabs boost. So it is definitely a massive disadvantage for Daniel. Zen is actually going to go air dribble on his own back wall, and Daniel decides to not even try. I don't know. Zen was using a lot of boost in his process of air dribbling it, which means Daniel has the boost advantage if he lets the ball come to the ground and then maybe keeps it in the air, and extended possession might go Daniel's way. But Daniel says, no, I don't even want to try. Zen gets the win. Let's head back to EU. Back to EU for game number 4. A 92 ping server for Daniel. A little bit better for him this time. He is hopping back into the Fennec. We've seen him dabble in the Fennec and Octane now. Game number 1 was Fennec, then 2 Octanes. Now that he's lost, he's back into the Fennec. Zen rocking his Vitality decal. Love to see him repping the team. I think everybody's excited, even the people who are going to have to play against him, to get Zen into the RLCS, to see if he can push the game even farther forward. Oh my goodness, Zen unable to score this one. Daniel wasn't really anywhere close on the midfield challenge, but maybe, like I talked about before, the pre-jumps do a really good job that you don't really see, which is convincing players to mix up what they're going for, adjust their shot early, and then the resulting shot is much, much weaker. Daniel, Zen, both rolling around this ball. It's going to pop up to Zen. Daniel's pre-jumping. He has read these aerial plays so quickly. He just pre-jumped to the back wall, lands, and is able to clear away. It costs him a ton of boost. A very creative way to play on defense. Zen, though, is very likely to score on him from this position. I know he hasn't been playing his best in his aerial game, but he did just hit a pogo. That absolutely should regain his confidence. And Daniel, who just used up everything for that really unorthodox pre-jump, now has nothing left to try and stop this one. Daniel on the back wall. Gets the ball early. Making sure Zen is unable to get any touch, and he tries to chip it over the top of an incoming Zen early challenge. He was trying to get as much height so he could go over him, but Zen still made it up and affected the play. Daniel now looking to break out of the midfield, take advantage of his boost advantage. I believe he did have. He's not going to finish it. Daniel didn't even try. I don't know if he could, but Daniel seemed to assume it was in. Might not have mattered. I don't know if he could have made it back in time, but Zen does get the goal line save. He never quits on that goal line. He's made some magnificent saves in the past. Right now he's kept the score at even to Daniel. If Daniel found a way to actually shoot off that bump, that would have been unbelievable. Zen's going to launch a flick. When we saw Zen playing in the Ranked Royale, he had some nasty flicks. In fact, go watch his first game ever on my stream, which was against Nuggets, I believe. In the first 30 seconds was so perfect, I couldn't have been sure that Zen wasn't just a absolutely future AI designed to never mess up, because every mechanic was absolutely the best it could be. Daniel, early reset, like I talked about. He loves the first touch reset. If he's taking the ball up the side wall, he'll just grab the reset early. Instead, since he had a pretty far away setup, he just makes sure you get the soft first touch and can threaten the reset the whole way. It's time to fake on the ground, gets him his second goal. So we are back on equal servers, or on serve with the servers, is one way to put it. As we've played 2 EU games and 1 US East game. Zen is up 2-1. Daniel strikes in the tying goal after Zen did not read the bounce off of the ceiling. I'm guessing he was expecting something different. Zen fights Daniel off the possession. Going to try and cut infield as Daniel was looking to prevent him from going up the side wall, and it's going to be a goal. So Zen willing to play the game that Daniel's forcing him to. If Zen was hard set on taking his dribble, he'd probably been much worse off. Daniel essentially forced him to cut it, and he did. Zen, another first possession, I would argue, off this kickoff. They vied for it for a bit, but Zen really has the advantage here. Even with Daniel dribbling away, it's not likely that he's going to be able to convert it for a goal, because now he's on 0 boost, trying to make something happen on the goal line, and here is that advantage I talked about. Zen finally has his huge boost advantage possession that seemed inevitable. He's going to carry this ball with no forward momentum, just dribbling in the corner. Daniel might have a chance for a goal now, and he evens up the game. So Zen fought hard for 30 full seconds in order to gain the possession, and once he finally had it, not able to get anything off of his air dribble. Daniel doesn't grab the midfield boost. Back to the corner instead. Saves on the goal line soft as it hits the post. Trying to be very careful with the boost usage and where the ball is headed after the save. When he has a soft shot coming at him, he has the luxury being able to try and time that out. Under a minute left to go. Zen looking to try and go up 3-1 and force Daniel to win a couple EU server games on the way out. Or actually, I think actually only needs to win one. He would just need to hold on to his server, which so far he hasn't done. Daniel into the corner. Slams the long shot as he tries to maybe punish Zen for coming off the ceiling, but Zen is still perfectly positioned. These two battling back and forth, adjusting to each other's every move. Are we going to see a regulation goal? Daniel has to back off, so it'll be Zen with space and with boost. Daniel being passive in the midfield, letting Zen get to this dribble. The shot is low and in! Daniel can only redirect it in. If he was making a save from the opposite side of the net, this one would have been free, but as he finds himself on the left side, there really isn't a ton of room to redirect it and save it off to the right. So it'll be Zen with a 5-4 lead with 6 seconds left to go. Will we see anything cheeky from Daniel on the kickoff? He did stay grounded. I think he tried to do something special. Might be able to pop this up, but Zen is just going to tap it on for another goal. 6-4. We head back to USC servers. Daniel's going to need to win there and win the EU game that will happen in Game 6, assuming he wins the next one. Zen looking to do better than the Game 7 win he did last time as we head over to US East. Game number 5. Daniel staying in the Fennec. I think this is the first time he has not switched cars after losing. He's going to stay in the endpoint Fennec. See what he can do here on USD servers. Zen on the verge of a potential 4-1. Should be the first to score. Giving us a no problem for this server. 88 ping for him, 16 for Daniel. Pre-jumping Daniel, giving him a taste of his own medicine on this dribble. Daniel just slamming the ball to the back wall. One element of Daniel's 1v1 game that we haven't seen from him yet. He does like to catch people off guard with his power shots, but maybe Zen is just a bit too fast. Maybe he's really felt like he's never had that opportunity when his defender is as quick as Zen is. Air dribble for Daniel. Pogo on the goal line. Zen has the first save. Daniel should be able to grab the boost, though, and Zen was 0. So can Daniel convert from this position? Then get to set up on the wall, using wall dashes to get his clear. And he's going to go for a demo. He stays grounded and drives through the ball. The demo gets him the goal. Zen, really smart play. Turned a tough situation into a goal of his own, using a bit of wave dashes and A lot of times when someone's coming to challenge the ball, if you just do your best to ignore its position and instead try and drive through, you can oftentimes land a demo, and that's what Zen does. Turns it in for a second goal. Daniel given space by Zen. He's slightly fake challenging, but only ever jumps until after he's hidden by the ball. Then he more pre-jumps as opposed to really challenging. Daniel gonna back off as Zen comes up for this one. It's crossbar down, and Daniel once again decides he wants to let it bounce down. Would rather deal with the follow-up instead of trying to clear it off the backboard. I imagine he could have if he wanted to. But Zen is quick to follow up his crossbar down shots. 3-0. Daniel pops this kickoff high. He certainly lost it because while he's forced to jump and clear it, Zen can dive underneath and steal the boost. Fair dribble for Zen. Leads to not much of anything. Daniel wants to get on the board. Another first touch reset, but he can't stick with the ball. So it'll be Zen attacking a slowly recovering Daniel, but Zen didn't play it quickly. He played a fairly slow dribble. Makes it possible for Daniel to comfortably recover. Zen off the ceiling. That flick leaves a bit to be desired. Can Daniel capitalize? A mistouch from Daniel. Are we seeing a little bit of loss of focus? Zen recovers. I thought he just handed Daniel a free goal. In fact, he ultimately does. But the fact that he even made it back, he drove away to steal boost, and then he realized, wait a second, what am I doing? There's going to be a shot directly on my net. And even though he could redirect the first one, Daniel follows it up. Super delayed kickoff from Zen. Demoing Daniel. Can he get back to this? He's playing it off the bump, but actually Daniel spawns right on the corner boost. That was going to be worst case scenario for Zen if Daniel spawned on the other side and he keeps possession and gets the back corner. But it's actually advantage Daniel as long as he manages to convince the RNG gods to put him in the right spot. Look at this flick from Daniel. Zen has the save. Can Daniel follow it up? He actually keeps it away from Zen and then taps it in soft. Zen puts this one off the crossbar, and if he doesn't keep it high and prevent it from shooting immediately, Zen actually had the second attempt at the save as well. But Daniel keeps it out of reach. 2 straight after the 3-0 Daniel lead, or sorry, 3-0 Zen lead. Daniel catch, looking to try and cut the ball behind Zen, who was preemptively headed to the corner where he expected Daniel to go. Now Zen will back off. Daniel with space. What does he go to? A long distance flick. Zen saves it into the corner. Can he make the play off the back wall? He's trying to be as patient as possible. Doesn't want to try and flip away, use a ton of boost, and put himself in an eventual tough position. Instead, Zen into the corner. Grabs the 100. Can't make anything happen off the ceiling. He's going to make it back to this ball before Daniel, who decides to play the bit more passive method of not meeting him at the challenge. Instead, accepting that Zen's wall dash was going to get him there first. And then the backflip leads to the Zen goal. Tough position to play out of after Daniel decides not to go for the ball. Always going to be hard to win that backflip challenge against somebody who gets to be attacking, facing the net. Demo on Zen. Ball glued to the side wall. Ideal for Zen to slow him down, but most likely needed a spawn on that same side. Daniel bumping Zen as he tries to stop this from going in, but then he just rolls away as he essentially own goals. Zen gets credited with a pool shot. He was trying to fight Zen off the ball, but the bumps resulted in him tapping the ball on net. So down 2, 54 seconds left to go. Zen on the verge of a dominant win. Placing this one off the backboard. Neither of them with a lot of boost to work with. Daniel tries to leave the ball and make it back, but Zen He is watching the play. He's going to see you leave. He does manage to hold on to boost, though. Or, sorry, to possession. I think Daniel, he sees the end here a little bit. I've watched a lot of Rocket League myself, and I feel like there's some minutia in car language, similar to body language. I think Daniel feels it. He needs to shake it off. He's got 30 seconds. It's not impossible. Reset from the corner. Goes underneath Zen. 25 seconds in 2. He did the first one faster than he needed to. Will we see anything special? We haven't seen Daniel delay a ton. Zen has been delaying when trying to secure late game kickoffs. Daniel wins this one standard. But Zen actually does a great job of gluing the ball to the side wall. It's actually still shootable, but Daniel misses wide. He cannot afford to play very passive. He has to turn and challenge immediately. Zen knows it. Preps for him coming to meet him. And now an air dribble to the ceiling. Daniel intercepts it. He has no boost, though. He can't get back to this and shoot in time. Zen is going to win 4-1 in the crossover. In the ranked royale, Daniel throws the GGs, and it was GGs at that. Zen just with the slight edge. Does he want to give us a clip to end the game? Zen is going to continue to carry. What will he give us now? What does Zen have in store? Maybe he just holds us hostage for a long time. You never know. Zen, let's hit the ground. GG's. Well played. And $1,050, right? Coming Zen's way. Well deserved the way he's been playing in this tournament and in 1v1. Playing. Thanks for playing. Zen is a sight to behold. Daniel no slump either, but Zen just the next level up.